Welcome to Vikings football with head coach Bruce Barnum as the Portland State Vikings get ready to make the drive up to Cheney, Washington to play the Eastern Washington Eagles this Saturday. The Vikings and the Eagles at 4 p.m. You can watch that game on ESPN Plus. It's a big game. It's the damn Cup game. It's a rivalry game this week, Coach, and the Vikings have held on to that damn Cup for a few years. So I guess it's keep the Cup week for Portland State. Have you presented that to your team yet?
It is. They're carrying it around. This morning I gave them the history. You know, there's a lot of dams on the. If you look at the basin, there's about 60 dams, but there's 4 big ones. That's what, you know, I told them they're passing 3. We're going to stop and water out and get a soda pop right by number 3, the John Day Dam. So, you know, I want them to know the history of it. It's one game that we actually play for a trophy. So they're aware of it, and we're trying to put one together to get after the Eagles.
All right, the Vikings have beaten the Eagles the last couple times they have met. The teams did not play last year because of the scheduling in the Big Sky with 12 teams. But we'll talk a little bit about the Eagles in a minute. Coach, quick review on Northern Arizona. The Vikings losing 31-17 against the 15th ranked Lumberjacks. Saw a lot of positive things happening. The team is continuing to get better. I'm going to throw out a couple of thoughts, and you tell me what you think. The running game was better. Made a difference to have DeLon Thompson with kind of his happy feet. He created a few things and came up with 88 rushing yards. You get a little better rushing game going, helps the passing game. Talk about your offense.
Run game first. You know, that has to keep improving. Mike, you know how we want to do it around here, and that's not where we want it. Yes, it did improve. DeLon made some runs that were outstanding. That a normal tailback doesn't make. But we have to keep focusing on that. Yes, it got better, but it has to be a hell of a lot more than 88. A couple of snowmen. But offensively, I think John settled in. We didn't turn the ball over. There are some good things. I mean, take those 2 4th downs, you know, convert those, and who knows what happens on college football Saturdays. So keep getting better. Like I said, put one together on the red turf.
All right, defensively, the Vikings dealing with an extra injury or 2 last week, but did a pretty good job against probably the best quarterback in the Big Sky. In fact, they held the line after halftime, gave your offense a chance in the second half.
Yeah, they gave our team a chance. Nobody was happy with that first half, you know. Kudos to Northern Arizona. You know, they did kind of what they wanted that first half. But we came out, they regrouped our defense in the second half, and kept us in it. You know, you look at 3 third downs on them, you know, 2 4th downs on the offensive side, 3 critical 3rd downs that I see on their side. If they go our way, you know, different game. We have to tackle better, all the basics of defense. But I like how they came out the second half and responded.
Yeah, the defense, 3 3-and-outs and also a 4th down stop in the second half. So 4 good stops for them in the second half, giving the team a chance. All right, let's move on to Eastern Washington, Coach. A team I'm having a tough time figuring out. They beat a Missouri Valley Conference team, scored 52 points, and then they go last week playing against what we know is a very good Montana State team, but still get routed there. A little tough to read this team. What do you know about Eastern Washington in 2025?
You know, we've watched all the games, Mike, gone back to some of last year's stuff. They're well coached. They got players. I mean, they're young, I think. I haven't really looked at it. They might be banged up a little bit like the Vikes. Just seeing how some guys aren't on the field, but I know our Coach Best isn't going to come out and say that. But they play hard. They got swamped last week. You know, I don't know what happened. I didn't look at all the video kill the radio star, but Montana State had some. They only played half field. You know, it seemed like they started inside on the plus 50 those first 5 or 6 series. So good for them, whatever they're doing. But I'm sure that didn't sit well with whatever happened on the other end. But they're playing well, Mike. I know I think we know who they are. They got a couple quarterbacks, and defense plays well. Their coverages they mix up. So, again, trying to put one together for the Mighty Beaks.
So when you look at Eastern Washington, the thing that really stands out to me on offense, they have played 2 quarterbacks, both quite a bit. In fact, they've thrown just about the same number of passes. But the thing you also notice is they both run the ball. They're the two leading rushers. So they've really got that run-pass quarterback situation going on there, much like the Vikings behind Dante Sacheret, and even if you go back Davis Alexander a little bit. How are the Vikings going to defend that? What's the challenges in defending a quarterback that can do both well?
Well, it's, they add a guy. They're adding an extra guy when he runs football, so we have to be able to adjust to that. And they've done some things to us a few moons ago that hurt us in a game, out of trips, tight end trips, 3 away with the tight end. So we learned from that game. That was here a few moons ago. But we've seen it. They've seen it from us in the Wildcat, and they've seen it on film. So they'll put some things together to try to slow them down.
All right. As we look at the Vikings, as we've said, we're going to get in that W column, Coach. It's coming. But even with some losses, the Vikings have gotten better every game, getting a little better defensive push up front, putting a little more pressure on opposing quarterbacks. The offense is starting to come together a little bit. What are going to be your keys this Saturday against Eastern Washington?
I want the turnovers on our offense just like they were. I'd like to get a couple from the Eagles, but
that's the one time you like a 0.
Yeah, do that. Obviously, field position. Field position hurt them last week. When playing up in Bozeman, I thought we did well in field position this week. It's just Northern Arizona took advantage of everything else and made the long drive. So those two, and our red zone has to improve on both sides. Our offense, I think, is productive in between the 20s. We said this 2 weeks ago. But when we get down the red zone, that's why we worked on it again today. We get down there, we got no field goals. I want to score touchdowns down there to make it a game.
All right. The Vikings on the road this Saturday against Eastern Washington. Coach, it's hard to believe it's going to be the month of October, and it'll be our first bus trip.
Right.
First one. Have you missed riding on long bus trips?
Not at all.
Not at all?
Not at all.
Okay, we have to take the damn cup because it is a trophy game. We got to take it. We got it in our office. Which seat are you putting it in? Are you got a seat belt on it and everything?
We haven't talked about that because there's some pride.
Kind of important.
And they called. I mean,
Yeah.
they didn't call, but they were talking to our guy. And they're like, "Hey, bring that cup."
Yeah.
So obviously there's a little interest there, but no, we'll find a spot.
Okay.
But right now
We're not putting it under the bus.
Oh,
We're
not
not
at
putting
all.
in the storage bins.
Not
right?
at all.
Okay.
They're right now focused on game plan, and I heard a bunch of stuff flying about movies. Then I heard we can put on the computer TV and then hook it up to the bus. So hopefully we'll watch a football game.
Oh, okay. Well, it'll be early in the day on the drive. Maybe we can watch a Major League Baseball playoff game, or would that
There
get
you go.
booed? Would that get
Oh,
booed?
no,
in
not at all.
Would that be all right?
Not at all.
All right. Well, I'm going to look forward to maybe having that happen. Last question, completely unrelated to the football game, Coach. You are an Eastern Washington alum.
Yes, I am.
I have never asked you this question. What was as a student athlete, use that term loosely, as a student athlete, what was your favorite thing to do when you were in Cheney, Washington, or maybe your favorite place to go?
Favorite thing to do, Mike? I did more fishing and hunting up there than you can shake a stick at. It's perfect for that. We were out. We had some fun times on that end, but always outdoors doing something. And the people, there's some guys coming to this game, some guys that coach me. I heard Larry Lunke and Tom Mason. There's going to be some guys that actually coached me a few moons ago at the game. So seeing them, and I think they put us homecoming. So this fits perfect.
Okay.
I'm coming home.
Well, it's damn cup
They might-
weekend. Might as well be homecoming.
They might not like me for 3 hours there in the middle, 3.5 hours, but after that, I'll shake everybody's hand.
All right. Handshakes after the game, everybody. Portland State and Eastern Washington this Saturday up in Cheney. You can watch the game on ESPN Plus, 4 p.m. kickoff. For all your information on Vikings football, go to GoVikes.com.